ask you which car best represents the dream of power, presence, and respect in Brazil, chances are the name Opala immediately comes to mind. And that is no coincidence, because the Chevrolet Opala SS was not just a car listed in an old catalog, it was a symbol of status, strength, and personality in a time when driving was still a raw, loud, and visceral experience, when a car said a lot about who was behind the wheel. What many people do not realize is that the Opala SS was born almost as an act of boldness in Brazil, in a country closed to imports, with very few real sports car options and where performance was practically a privilege. And even so, Chevrolet decided to create something that was not only fast, but looked fast while standing still, something that demanded respect just by showing up in your rearview mirror. The Opala arrived in Brazil in 1968, combining the body of the German Opel record with the robust mechanics of American Chevrolet models, and from the very beginning it stood out for its size, its above-average comfort, and especially for offering six-cylinder engines, something that by Brazilian standards at the time felt almost unreal. While most national cars were still simple, light, and modest in performance, the Opala appeared as a large, heavy sedan with a movie star presence, and that instantly created a collective desire, because it delivered a mix of sophistication and brutality that very few cars could offer in that era. But it was in the early 1970s that things became serious, when the Opala SS was introduced, a badge that still sends chills down the spine of any enthusiast, supersport, and here it was not just a stylish sticker on the side, it was a complete sports car concept adapted to Brazilian reality, respecting the country's limitations without giving up attitude. The SS design was genuinely aggressive, bold black stripes, exclusive details, wheels that conveyed strength, and a stance that made it clear this Opala was not built just to go from point A to point B. It wanted to be seen, heard, and respected, especially when stopping at a traffic light next to any other car of the time. Then came the heart of the beast, the legendary inline six-cylinder engine, reaching 4.1 liters, known as the 250S, an engine that may not impress by modern power numbers, but delivered something far more important: abundant torque, immediate response, and a constant push that pressed the driver into the seat from low revs. Driving an Opala SS was never a refined or delicate experience. It was heavy, it was brutal, the steering demanded strength, the throttle responded aggressively, and the engine sound filled the cabin without asking permission. And maybe that is exactly why it left such a mark, because it never tried to hide the experience. Everything was direct, honest, and intense. While many modern sports cars are extremely fast but quiet, packed with electronic filters and systems that correct every driver mistake, the Opala SS did everything in a raw way. If you accelerated too much, you felt it. If you misjudged a corner, you learned the hard way. It was a car that demanded respect and gave emotion in return. This personality made the Opala SS famous both on the streets and on the tracks, becoming a common sight in drag races, regional championships, extreme builds, and also in almost legendary stories of improvised highway battles, when the roar of the six-cylinder engine was practically an invitation to challenge. Over the years, many Opala SS models were modified, stripped of their originality, or simply destroyed by hard use, which turned original examples into true relics, highly sought after by collectors and enthusiasts who understand the historical value behind that mechanical package. Today, finding an original, well-preserved Opala SS with proper documentation is almost like discovering an intact piece of Brazilian automotive history, and the prices reflect that, because this is not just about metal, rubber, and fuel, it is about memory, identity, and a time when Brazil also knew how to build cars that sparked genuine passion. The most interesting part is that the Opala SS never tried to be a supercar. It never promised cutting-edge technology, advanced aerodynamics, or futuristic solutions. It simply delivered the basics done right: a big engine, rear-wheel drive, striking looks, and a strong personality, and that was more than enough to make it eternal. Maybe the Opala SS is so legendary precisely because it represents a bolder Brazil, a country that believed in creating something memorable even with countless industrial limitations, proving that it was not necessary to copy exactly what came from abroad to build a respected national icon. Beyond that, the Opala SS became a cultural reference, appearing in movies, songs, classic car meets, and even in popular imagination as a synonym for a powerful car, a car that commands respect, the kind of vehicle that even people who are not into cars recognize from afar. Even decades after the end of its production, the Opala SS continues to influence generations, inspiring restoration projects, serving as a base for modern builds, or simply being admired as a product of an era when automobiles were about emotion before efficiency. In the end, the Opala SS is not just an old car stored in garages or shown at weekend events. It is a reminder that driving can be emotional, loud, imperfect, and visceral, and that many times this is exactly what turns a car into a legend. And if you enjoy this type of content about the history, technology, and curiosities of the automotive world, follow the Hidden Speed channel so you do not miss the next videos. Here, passion for cars goes far beyond the steering wheel.